an introduction as to what the concept of donut economics is, especially in contrast to the more conventional types of economics that we see in this day and age today. Okay, we're going to play the video now.
In the 20th century, economics lost its purpose and started chasing the false goal of GDP growth. In recent decades, that has pushed many societies into deepening inequality, and it's pushing us all towards ecological collapse. This century calls for a new goal, meeting the needs of all within the means of the planet. In other words, it's time to get into the donut, the sweet spot for humanity. But that's no easy task. Today, billions of people still fall short of their daily needs, from food, housing and energy to healthcare and education. And yet, collectively, we've already overshot our pressure on some of Earth's most critical life support systems, driving climate change and the breakdown of biodiversity. What we do to this Earth in the next 50 years will shape the next 10,000. So let's replace that last century goal of endless growth with the goal of thriving in balance. And if we're to have half a chance of getting there, what economic mindset would be fit for the task?
So that, my friends, is the concept of donut economics. It's a rethinking of our conventional economics that is extremely linear, extremely extractive, and seeks to repurpose the circular economy and make sure that our societies live in the safe and just space between the ecological ceilings and the social foundations. So the Doughnut Economics Action Lab is a community of organizations and individuals who have decided to adopt Doughnut economics and uphold it in their lives as well as their communities. There's a lot of information, a lot of tools, a lot of data that this community has. And if you'd like to learn more about it, you can visit their website at doughuteconomics.org. So, to talk more about our project up in Ipoh, I'm very happy to invite Kak Norli, the Program Manager of Institute Darul Rizwan.
Thank you, TJ. Okay, my slide is going to take around 2 hours to finish. But I've been coached by TJ. I only have 5 minutes, so bear with me. 2 hours slide is going to be compressed to 5 minutes, all right, guys? All right. My name is Norli. I'm from the state of Perak. To our international friends, we are located between Penang and Selangor. So we are sandwiched between 2 developed states in Malaysia. So you can imagine how fortunate of us to have some spillover came from both developed states, which is Selangor and Penang. Okay, next please. Okay, as TJ mentioned earlier, what's with Perak and Dil community? So I would like to take back in 2022, we were fortunate enough to receive Tan Sri Jamila with her entourage to Perak. And so the things happen is that in 2022, early 2022, we are developing Perak State's development blueprints. And when Tan Sri came over and talked about donuts and how we can match Doughnut and Perak Sejahtera, basically our development blueprint together, and this is how in 2022, Perak is within the Doughnut communities. And thank you, Tan Sri, and thank you to Sunway Center for Planetary Health that brought us the concept of Doughnut economics to Perak. Okay, next. So when we developed our strategic plan, it was done during the post-pandemic era where everything is so vulnerable, so complex, and things are so, we don't know what's going to happen in the next 5 or 10 years. So what we did is that the plan that we came up for the Perak, which is called Perak Sejahtera 2030, we use all the plans that already had, because bear in mind, resources are not infinite. is finite. So there's a limit to anything. So what we did is that, next, we want to come up with a plan. These are the principles that we follow. And it also coincides with SDG. So with the limited resources that we have in our state, that's the reason why Doughnut economy came into place. We don't want our people to be thriving in a place, but we are overuse our resources. We overuse our natural resources. As you know, Perak is a land where we have our beautiful lakes, among the best forests in Malaysia, the Belum forest. We have a stretch of beaches which is the longest in Peninsular Malaysia. So these are the resources that have to be taken care for the future of our people. Next. Okay, so basically, this is our house, the house of Perak Sejahtera, where we want to, in 2030, we want our people to be makmur, prosperous, and the rakyat also well taken care of. And people might say, why you have economic, social, and politics? Because during the time of turmoil, Perak, I've seen several menteri besar within less than a years. So can you imagine why politics do play some roles in developing a state? And also, when we came out with our plan, Perak Sejahtera, it's aligned with what our PMX is doing. Malaysia Madani goes well with Perak Sejahtera. Next. Okay. This is where Doughnut economy comes to play. We look at our monitoring system. We incorporate with what Doughnut have, Doughnut economics. So here you can see that we want to take care of our environment as well as our people. We don't want our people in Perak to fall into the Doughnut holes, and then whatever we use for our environment is overshoot whatever we have in our state, our beloved state of silver. Perak is translated to silver. So Perak was once the most richest state in Malaysia. The first Mercedes in Malaysia came from Perak. So we hope that with the resources that we have, we would like to be #1 again. And that's all from me. And then I think my 2 hours slide is just nice for us to share with us this evening. And then, without further ado, I would like to call my best friend from Ipoh. Okay, Dr. Zulkarnain, but this is the famous Dr. Zul with a Q. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Cik Noli from Institute Darul Ridwan. My name is Zulkarnain Muhammad. I'm from Ipoh City Council, Majlis Bandara Ipoh. I'm talking about Doughnut economics. Doughnut economics is basically a circular economy with a heart. Recycle. I am a recycle officer. Sorry, I used to be the town planning director for Ipoh. I used to be the mayor of Kuala Kangsar, Royal Town. And after I retired a few months ago, the mayor, Datuk Rumaizi, who is, by the way, the best mayor, just named as the best mayor in this country. So I congratulated my good friend and also my boss, Datuk Rumaizi, as the best mayor in the country. Okay, just a little bit about Ipoh. We hope Ipoh, a small town, a small city between Penang and Kuala Lumpur, with the slogan Ipoh Bestari Sejahtera, Smart Green City, Ipoh Smart Green City. And then Ipoh is a 4-letter word. Normally 4-letter word is a profanity and all that lah. And then we hope Ipoh is the cleanest 4-letter word in the few years' time. And this is a picture of Ipoh. And just to share with you, Concubine Lane, a place run down in old town of Ipoh, now quite famous through this concept of brownfield brownfield development. And I hope you can visit Ipoh and see Kongkiban Lane. And just to share with you, a few days ago, it was named as the best revitalized placemaking by the Commonwealth Institute of Planners, just to share with you. Thank you. And next slide, because TJ already talked about the general idea of circular economy and also donut economics. And then Noli talk about the state level, and I'm going to talk about the local level. We have about 80 projects that we can say it's almost within Doughnut. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. I just want to share 4 projects that we are doing at Ipoh that can fit in with adjustments to fit into the concept of Doughnut economics. First is the UTC Perak, Urban Transformation Center in Ipoh. It used to be a supermarket, Super Kinta, and then it was abandoned. Georgetown Holdings went bankrupt, and then the supermarket was abandoned, and then we received some money from federal government, actually not some money, a lot of money from federal government to rebuild, to reuse the old building as a UTC with 40 plus agencies under one roof. So you don't have to go to many places to do your dealings with the government, especially government agencies. And then it is now retrofitted with solar panels. And then about 25% of the electricity is using the solar panels. And then we also have spa, rainwater harvesting system for the toilets. So you don't need to use clean pipe water. So that's also part of the Doughnut economics. And also here we have a quite advanced Ipoh Integrated Center, IIOC, Ipoh Integrated Center, where you control the traffic lights of the old town and the new town. So it's quite efficient, meaning less carbon is released to the environment. And then we have Tasik Cermin, an old mining land, also brownfield development in town planning. And then it has become quite famous now with beautiful backdrop, limestone hills. And it is actually a recycle play. It used to be an ex-mining land. Yeah? And then we have 2 big companies going in, local company, and providing jobs to the local people. We have 2 cafes. One is coffee. I mentioned the name Changjiang White Coffee, which is quite famous. And the other one is Sabati Group, concentrating on tea. The other one concentrating on coffee. And we have boating. And a lot of tourists are coming and benefiting the local economy. And then we have Gunung Lang. Also, we have a lot of activities. For example, boating. This is also an ex-mining land, ex-mining pond, yeah, in Ipoh, with boating. And then we have a mini zoo and beautiful environment for tourists to enjoy. And then last, to share with you, is the memory lane of Ipoh. It's like Pasar Karat in Johor Bahru. But it's still concept of selling recycled goods so that it don't go to waste, and benefiting a lot of people, benefiting a lot of especially local people. And I just want to share with Tasik Cermin, we also discussed with the company so that they employ all orang asli, Malays, Chinese, Indian, so that it's an economy boon to all, regardless of race, and also, but it must benefit the local economy. Okay, basically, I must thank you for your kind attention. Assalamualaikum. Terima kasih.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ziuku from MBI and Kak Noli from IDEA. MBI, IDR, and the Sunway Center for Planetary Health is in a 3-way partnership to implement Doughnut economics through state policy in Perak. It is a project with nearly unlimited potential to change the economies for the better, and I'm really, really excited to see where this project is going to go, in line with the Perak Sejahtera plan in 2030. So, now the time that everyone has been waiting for. It is time to give out some donuts. Real donuts here, yeah? So the game is quite simple. We have a few questions. We would like the audience to participate in them. So we're going to ask the question. Whoever is willing to come up and attempt to answer will get a donut. It's that simple. So, first question. What has our capitalist economies prioritized above all else? Doughnut economics is a reimagining of our economies in order to directly change this. Yes. Come.
Growth.
Your name?
Hafi.
Hafiz says growth. Does anyone has any other opinions? Hafiz, your donut. Anyone else would like a donut for an attempt of what capitalist economies? Yes?
My name is Amanda. I think the answer is all of the above.
All of the above. Very smart answer. All right. So Amanda is quite right. Capitalist economies prioritize all of these. But Hafiz is also right that what they have prioritized over everything else has been endless, infinite economic growth. Congratulations, Hafiz. Second question. Which of the following is not part of the social foundation that forms the inner ring of the donut? Gender equity, access to education, Netflix password sharing, and affordable housing. I see a lot of hands. All of you are welcome. Please come up to the front. Okay, one by one. Just let us know your name and your
Kamisa, Netflix password sharing.
you can have your donut.
Hi, I'm Almani. My answer is the same. It's Netflix password sharing.
What's wrong with password sharing, guys? All right. Anyone else would like to try? Almost knocked over the donuts. Yes, you are right. The foundation is Netflix password sharing, despite my sincere belief that this is a key part of forming relationships and community building. Final question. Which of the following is not part of the ecological ceiling that forms the outer ring of the donut? Come.
Sorry, Mei Leong, Santa's naughty list.
Santa's naughty list that you should not cross. All right, anyone else? Come.
I hold the D, Santa's naughty.
Naughty list as well, okay. All right, this is your last chance to get a free donut for now. But you are right. The answer is Santa's naughty list, despite this being the strongest motivator to get our unruly children to behave. This is not one of the ecological ceilings, unfortunately. Thank you very much for your participation, and I hope that this gives you insight into what donut economics is and how it can be applied in our daily lives. All right. We have more donuts here. All right. The last question that we want to ask, you will also get donuts for this. Sorry, my bad. We want to hear your thoughts about planetary health. Planetary health is defined by the Lancet-Rockefeller Commission as the health of human civilizations and the natural systems on which they depend. The interconnected nature of our ecosystems often mean that the damage to our environment translates to negative impact on human health. We would like to know what planetary health means to you. At the Sunway Center for Planetary Health, we've been doing a lot of work, but we need to know what you think about it, what is your perspective, and how do you feel about it. If anyone would like to share their thoughts about planetary health, we are happy to bribe you with donuts. Let me open the Mentimeter for this. So for those of us who are joining online, we would also like to hear your perspective on what planetary health is. You can fill in your answers using the Mentimeter or the QR code above. Anybody? Okay, if that's the case, I'm going to quote my colleagues on the spot here. And I'm going to ask Nazia, my manager at the Center for Planetary Health. What does planetary health mean to you?
So for me, planetary health is human health, because I remember TJ mentioning in the morning to me that planetary health is not human health, but humans are important for planet as well. So for me, planetary health is human health.
Thank you very much. Can give yourself a donut. And yes, if there's no humans on the planet, then there's no one to care about health. So that is theoretically correct. Okay, we have quite a few responses online. Planetary health is rooted in social justice and human rights. It's sustainability, natural resources not being depleted, climate change, sorry, don't need to apologize. Something to change for Climate Week, taking care of planet life, human responsibility and trust, living within our fair share of resources while addressing existing injustices and oppression. Yes, thank you very much for all of your answers. If any of you are here physically, we would love to give you a donut if you are willing to step forward. But thank you very much for your participation. It is really helpful for us to kind of gauge how well this concept is understood and how much, I guess, work we have to do on the communications aspect. All right, so on that note, I will leave the Mentimeter open. I would love to hear your thoughts. But to wrap this session up, I'm very happy to call my colleague, Sarah, who is the, 1 minute, Special Assistant to the Executive Director as well as the lead for this entire project to speak about planetary health.
Thanks so much, TJ. It's interesting that TJ has this up as Ipoh Doughnut team lead, so I guess I can be called as the donut leader, supplying donuts for all. Not from me, but from the center and from the MBI and IDR. But yeah, I'm Maisara. I'm from Sunway Center for Planetary Health, the knowledge partner for MBI as well as Institute Darul Rizwan in really capturing and documenting the process of Ipoh's transition and piloting of the donut economics model at the city level. So next, we've learned a little bit about donut economics, thank you to TJ. We've also learned how it applies or how it can be implemented at the city level. But maybe let's tie it back together in why is a regenerative approach to city planning important to ourselves, to our health and our survival. So that's essentially where planetary health comes in. And planetary health, as mentioned just now, it's the health of human civilization and the planet, and how these two entities are actually interconnected, and it's an interdependent relationship. So planetary health first came about against the context of what's known as the Great Acceleration. So we know that since industrialization 50 years ago, we've basically escalated everything in terms of our growth, our population, everything. But we've also had a lot of good improvements in terms of our health, in terms of our social well-being, but a lot of it has also come at the cost of what you see on the right side, the Earth system trends. Our ocean acidification has also increased, carbon dioxide, and all this is now translating into climate change as we know it today. So next. So a bunch of scientists came up from the Stockholm Resilience Center, came up with what's known as the planetary boundaries. So you can see there's 9 planetary boundaries, and out of all these, 6 have been violated. And what they indicate is that these are the limits to the planet's natural limits. These are the limits, yeah. The limits to the planet's ecosystem and how it's able to allow humans to survive and thrive. And for now, we've already exceeded 6 of them, which is quite concerning. And for all this, there's an impact to health, to our own health. So for example, let's maybe take a look at novel entities. Novel entities is what's new to us, like plastics. And microplastics, as we know it, we're pretty much drowning in plastics. Thankfully, we see some here, but at least our buffet table and all that is wrapped in reusable, recyclable packaging, so that's great. But we're pretty much drowning in it, and we keep finding it in new places. We now see it in clouds. Microplastics have been found in babies' feces and in the placenta of pregnant women, yada yada. So the list goes on, and we don't even know the extent of how this will impact human health at the end of it. So I would definitely encourage you to watch this Netflix documentary if you haven't watched yet. It's called Breaking Boundaries, and it perfectly explains how planetary boundaries work and how it impacts our own health. So next. So we come back to cities. And as we know it, our cities are not built for promoting healthy communities. We see our traffic, we see like this is actually Dash Highway, that picture I took online from Kota Damansara Perdana, and it's a mess. If you've ever taken this highway, if you're a Malaysian, you would know that it's a mess. We've got the haze, the flood, increasing extreme weather events, all as an impact of climate change. But is it too late? No. So if we see next, there are already cities, next slide, sorry. There are already cities that have started reclaiming their public spaces. And they do this by centering its city planning or urban planning to people, essentially. And that's how they transform Cheonggyecheon in Seoul. I hope I'm not butchering that, but if you watch a lot of K-dramas, you should be able to pronounce it. They've transformed this very gray and dull, almost dystopian city into now a public space where people can just enjoy their time with their family. They get to boost their social economies as well as bring up some local festivals and basically just have a lot of fun. And that's also what Ipoh has done an excellent job in. Ipoh, for example, has an Ipoh Car Free Day every month. And in fact, there's one that's happening end of this weekend on Sunday. That's in conjunction with, very excitingly, the Global Doughnut Day in partnership with Doughnut Economics Action Lab. So if you happen to have some free time to make a trip up to Ipoh, please do. It's on Sunday morning. There's a fun community walk, and afterwards there'll be a little festival with local vendors and pocket talks. So at the end of the day, this whole Ipoh Doughnut project, planetary health, all has a common thread, and that common thread is collaboration and partnerships. And that's really what we want to highlight in this Ipoh Doughnut project, in working with not just government agencies at the city council level, but also industry players, networks, and civil society organizations, in really seeing that it's actually not impossible to rethink or reimagine our city planning. And so we do that together. And that's exactly what we also want to highlight and push forward in our upcoming 2024 Planetary Health Summit and 6th Annual Meeting. So this will happen next year on 16th to 19th April at Sunway University. It's hosted by Sunway Center for Planetary Health and Planetary Health Alliance, which is the big secretariat of the global planetary health community. And it will be the first to happen in Asia. Previous versions have all been in Harvard, Stanford, yada yada, but we're bringing it to our territory, or to Global South, essentially. And I hope that you can check out the website. It's pham2024.com, and please share it out to your networks. And if you can, please register too. So that's all. Essentially, planetary health is the key to thrive. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, my Sarah, for all of that. Hello. Okay, the mic's back. Thank you so much, my Sarah, for telling us about planetary health and also sharing about the Planetary Health Annual Meeting and the, Summit and 6th Annual Meeting next year. I've been told that we have a question from one of our online participants. So can I ask the organizers to play it?
Yes, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, this is Vishnu speaking. So I'm here connecting from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And I also wanted to speak about the planetary health because I've been a part of few events and programs in the last few months. Like in July as well, I've been a part at different places. So, about planetary health, if you're asking me the basic definition, I would really consider it as health of human civilization. And I think the natural systems we can import to our society and our environment, and how we can better, if we can start from now. So even for me, because I'm an events management student, so if I can implement by attending not just workshop events, by contributing something back to the society to be beneficial 5-10 years later down the road.
Okay,
So,
thank you, Vishnu, for sharing. The audio wasn't the clearest, but from what I understand, you were telling us about planetary health and why it was important. Thank you very much for sharing. Just wanted to ask, do you have a specific question you want to ask?
Well, no, not exactly, but I was actually informed by Miss Nazia, I think my mentor or someone, who said that there will be an upcoming event next April. So hopefully I'm willing to join that as well.
I see. It's great to hear your show of support. We hope to see you in Summer University next year. Thank you very much, Vishnu.
Yeah, absolutely. It's my pleasure. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. And we have prepared quite a lot of donuts as well. So all of you who have taken the time to stay to the end, thank you very much. We will be giving out free donuts to everyone here. Right. Okay, if I can get my colleagues to help me to distribute the donuts. Thank you.